Hi there all, Les back here again. I'm going to start taking you through all the different settings for Volatility Master. The easiest way to access the settings, once you have the software or the template loaded onto the chart, is to click the smiley face and it's going to bring you up all of the different settings. There are quite a lot of different settings, but we do have the template files which automatically set each chart up to suit that particular pair. So, for example, the chart I have open and trading at the moment is AUD JPY. So that's the Australian dollar against the Japanese yen. And all of the settings I have on here now suit that pair. And that's because I loaded the AUD JPY template onto the chart, which gives me all the settings to suit. So I'm going to take you through all of these settings one by one. It'll be over the course of probably 4 separate videos, just so each one is not too long. Now, I don't want you to get too tied down on the exact settings that I have on here at the moment. All right, so from the time of me making this video until the time that you actually are watching it, I may have adjusted some of these settings, updated the settings. The software may have had some upgrades and changes requiring some different settings. So if the settings that I have on my screen now aren't the same ones that you have, showing on your settings from the template, even if it's for the same pair, then don't be too concerned. Feel free to ask questions, but don't be too concerned. The templates I send you will be the correct ones at that time. Alrighty. First of all, though, I might start by explaining what is shown on the chart itself. Up here, it's telling us, excuse me, in the settings, I have it set to risk 1% of the account balance per trade. So what it's showing here is that the minimum lot size that will be used will be 1.74 lots. I do have it showing to 3 decimal places, even though a lot size only goes to 2. That's just for those that are using a very small trading account, can get an idea of whether they should potentially round up or round down. But no real big issue. Just letting you know that it's to 3 decimal places, even though lot sizes only go to 2. Now it says minimum lot size because the software will actually adjust the lot size from trade to trade depending on how far away it decides to place the stop loss. There is a maximum stop loss setting, and if it's using the maximum stop loss setting, then the lot size will be 1.7. If the stop loss is closer than the maximum allowable stop loss, then this lot size will be larger. So you will quite often see a lot size larger than what's shown here, and that's the reason why. You don't have to set, you can set a lot size or you can set a risk percentage in the settings. If you set a risk percentage, then it's always going to be risking 1% of your account balance. If you set a lot size itself, then it will always have that lot size, but how much risk that is will vary depending on how far away the stop loss is. Where it says not correct time. In the settings, there are time parameters that you can set for each day of the week so that the software will only work during those set parameters. When it's outside of those set parameters, it says not correct time. When it's within those set time parameters, it will just say correct time. And that's when it will look for trades. So when it says correct time, the software will look for an entry point, and when it finds one, it will take out a trade. If before that trade closes, it becomes not correct time, don't be concerned. The software will still manage that trade, but it will no longer be able to open up any new ones. This display here is showing the trend on the 5-minute, 15-minute, 1 hour, and 4 hour time frames. The reason that the 15-minute one is green and the others are red is because in the settings, I'm using a 15-minute trend filter. So what that means is that because the 15-minute trend is currently a buy, the software is only looking for entries to do buy orders. It's only going to follow the 15-minute trend. Down here, it says total profit target, and it says daily pair profit. There's two sets of profit targets and equity protection type features. One deals with the trading account as a whole, so it incorporates all the different pairs that you may be trading on that one account. And the other one deals specifically just with the one pair that this software happens to be on. So the total profit target I have set at $20,000. Essentially, I have it set at a really high figure so that I'm not actually using it because I'm only trading one pair on this chart, on this trading account. But what would happen is if it got up to that target, this target, as I make profit, will count down. When it gets to zero, it would stop trading for the day. The daily pair profit is a feature that I use a lot more than the overall target. And what this is showing us here is that within these brackets, where it says 2,304, that is the profit target that the software is aiming to make just on this pair. So if the profit made on Aussie yen gets up to 2304, then it's going to close, and this is working off the equity. If it's going to close all those open trades on this pair and stop trading Aussie yen for the rest of the day. If the software is trading other pairs as well, it won't affect them at all. And this other figure here, that's at $186. That just means that so far today, that's how much the software is made on Aussie yen. Once this figure here gets up to this one, that's when it's going to close those trades and stop trading this pair for the day. Down in the bottom left-hand corner, we have HDR, ADR, and today. That ADR is the average daily range over the last 20 days, and it is 89.595 pips. The highest daily range was 143, and so far today, the market's moved 88. These figures here are just for your own knowledge. They don't actually change the way the software operates. This is just for your own information as you're trading. You can use this for various different strategies. We do have several different strategies we can use the software with. One is just the fully automated, completely hands-free, set it up and let it do its thing. There's other ones where we use different settings and different time parameters to specifically target a volatile event in the market. And then there's various other ones where if you've got some manual trading knowledge, you can set it to start at certain times or certain market conditions based off a little bit of analysis of your own. Alrighty, so that's all of the actual displays, except for the red and blue lines. The red and blue horizontal lines are where the software has calculated various different ranges and points of interest, stop losses. Support and resistances, different ranges, things like that, and that's all part of its calculations for the breakout strategy. Okay, I'm going to click on the smiley face and bring up the settings. As I mentioned in the last video, if the smiley face is a sad face, then you need to check the common tab make sure the allow live trading box there is checked. And also make sure the auto trading button up here is turned on. When it's green, it's on. When it's red, it's off. And that's the only two reasons that the smiley face might be sad. But the inputs tab, let's check that out and start going through all of these settings. The daily profit target and the daily equity protection, they are the two settings dealing with the total profit target down here. So that's the settings to either stop trading at a certain loss or at a certain profit on all the pairs traded on that trading account as a whole. And I've just got them both set at a big figure so that they're not being used at the moment. And that's because on this particular account, I'm only trading Aussie yen. So I don't need an overall goal. But how they would work is that the daily profit target, if you hit that, it's going to close all open trades and stop trading for the day. If you lose this much, it's going to close all open trades and stop trading for the day. Nice and simple. Now down onto the daily pair profit goal, these are in percentages. And so this allows the software to, it's going to set it's going to set the lot size based off a risk percentage. It's going to set the maximum loss and the profit goals based off a percentage of the account balance. That way the software is able to automatically compound your results. So as your account grows, it's going to use a larger trade size and aim for a larger profit. And in this case, we have the profit goal set at 4.25%, which happens to be this figure here, 2304. And we have the daily pair profit max loss set at 1.2%. So this is just dealing with this one pair only, Aussie yen in this case. If I was to lose 1.2% or even close to 1.2%, then the software is going to close open trades and stop trading for the day. Now, if there are no trades open, and in this case, I have my risk percentage set at 1%, even if I only lost, say, 0.3%, so if we've got 1.2% minus what we've lost is 0.3, that only leaves 0.9 left. That isn't enough to allow a 1% risk trade, so it won't open up any trades at all. Just so you know exactly how that works. But so other than that, the goal is set at 4.25%, so we'd have to make 4.25% on this one pair, and then it was going to close any open trades and stop trading for the day. So right there, we have quite a nice risk to reward ratio. So maximum loss is 1.2%, but aiming to make 4.25%. So, well over a 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio there. It's not quite 1 to 4 though. Order size, if you wanted to, you can put in the lot size you want it to trade, and it will always take out that size trade. Potentially useful on very small accounts, but other than that, just setting a risk percentage per trade is the best way to do it, because then it can automatically compound the profits. Take profit in points. So every trade will get a take profit set at 750 points. Obviously, that's a figure that you can adjust if you want, but the templates for this pair is set at 750 points. As I said, these figures could all be different by the time you use the software. I know that already I've made some changes to it myself, but we'll leave it as it is for now. Okay, so it places, every time it makes a trade, it will place a take profit at this figure, at this distance. So that's 750 points, which is 75 pips. There is also a stop loss placed, and it says 10 points. Take profit's pretty easy to understand. Stop loss isn't quite what you're thinking because it will always place the stop loss either below or above closest market structure based off whatever time frame settings you put. So down here we have stop loss calculation time frame for the initial trade is set at 5 minutes. So if we have a look over here, this blue line indicates the bottom of the 5-minute range. So if the software was to place a trade now, a buy order now, it would place a stop loss 10 points below that blue line. So that's what this one's indicating. It's not placing it 10 points away from the trade. It's placing it 10 points below the bottom most part of the range, the most recent range. And we've got one more setting here, which is the maximum stop loss is set at 300 points. So no matter how far away the range is, it will never place a stop loss more than 300 points away from the trade. So right there, the take profit is at 750. The stop loss is at no more than 300. So even if it is on the maximum stop loss, quite often it will be less than that. We've got a 2.5 to 1 risk to reward ratio between the take profit and the stop loss. So all good, positive risk to reward so far. We have, as far as locking in profit with trailing stops and that sort of thing, we have two features. We have a profit lock feature and an actual trailing stop loss. So how the profit lock works is that it's going to activate when the trade gets into 200 points of profit. And when it activates, it's going to move the stop loss up to 20 points into profit. So if it's a buy order, it's going to move the stop loss up 20 points above the entry point. And in the case of a sell order, it's going to move the stop loss down to 20 points below the entry point. So it's going to be locking in a small profit. And then the trailing stop loss is going to kick in at 250 points. And it's just going to operate like any normal trailing stop loss. And as the market moves up, the trailing stop loss is going to move the stop loss up as the market goes up, and thereby locking in more and more profit. But as soon as the profit lock activates, that's a no risk trade. And even if the market retraces and goes the wrong way, you're still going to take a small profit. Being in a no risk trade also opens up the ability of the software. So if that first trade had the profit lock activate, therefore it's a no risk trade, can only make profit now, then the software can look to make a second trade, to stack a second trade if it gets a good entry point, and therefore greatly increase the potential profit. But because it's not doing that until after that first one is risk-free, it hasn't increased the risk at all. And you've probably already seen some promotional videos on that because that's one of the best features of the software. So we have two different types of trades that it can take out. We've got initial trades and stacked trades. So you'll see a couple of double ups in settings. So this one here, it's going to calculate the stop loss range based off for the initial trades based off the 5-minute time frame. And in this case, it's doing the same for the stack, but you could have separate ones for those. And I do in some of my different trading. All right, that's it for this video, guys. We've covered everything all the way down to there. No worries at all. So we'll come back in the next video and take it up from where we left off just now.